I am with Curt Sumner, who's the Executive Director of the National Society of Professional Surveyors, and we are on a break during the student presentations at the 2018 student competition that is concluding today with the presentations. So Curt's observed 3 of the presentations, and I just wanted to get some feedback from Curt on how he thinks or what his impressions are of the student effort.
Probably the thing that stands out the most to me is how poised they are. You wouldn't think necessarily that college students who probably don't do this kind of thing all that often, but then they get up here and they're able to explain really well what they did and what the result was. And maybe, perhaps, part of this comfort level in what they're doing is related to the fact that this year the work was all done here, which I think is a great idea. And we used to do it that way years ago, and they've gone back to it. So everybody's on the same playing field, using the same equipment under the same conditions. And so maybe that helped to create a little bit of a comfort level that, hey, we just did this, and perhaps that's part of it. But they were very poised. I was very impressed.
Now, admittedly, these are all students in either a 2-year or a 4-year surveying program, but do you have any comments, Curt, for the membership at large in terms of what you think this kind of student means to the future of our profession?
Well, I think it means a lot, actually, because all of us, when we go into the profession, are going to be under pressure right away. Right? I mean, no matter what we're doing, and particularly when we get to the level of some accountability. If you go in starting without having any experience, that doesn't happen right away. But with these students, it's going to begin to happen with them pretty quickly because of their education level and the expectation for what people are going to get from them. So I think it's really good to see the way they're able to react, because they will be expected to be able to do that right away when they go into practice.
Curt, you talk to a lot of people in the society who are either business owners or senior management in surveying firms or engineering firms that have surveying components to them. Are you seeing any interest on the part of these people to hire people with college education instead of people who don't have that educational background, in addition to obviously some experience in their work?
I think to some degree it's partially what they need at the time. Because what I'm seeing, and obviously I'm not seeing everything that's going on as it's out there, but what I hear about happening is that oftentimes the graduates who come out of these programs get put into doing something that maybe someone with less experience wouldn't be doing. And it concerns me a little bit, because are they really going to get the full experience? You know, if you bring somebody in and say, well, you're really good at preparing data or doing CAD, well, maybe they then don't get the experience of doing the field exercise or the other things that are all part of the puzzle, so to speak. So I'm a little bit concerned about that, only from the perspective of, do they get a fair shake? Do they really get a chance to do everything, or they get pigeonholed somewhere?
So this is the spring meeting of the NSPS Board of Directors and various committees. Getting off the topic of the competition, is there anything that you want to say about what's happening here, and is there anything that the membership should be looking for following this meeting in terms of accomplishments or initiatives that maybe the directors are planning?
Well, obviously a big part of what we do is related to what we call government affairs, but it's much broader than that, of course. It has to do with all things that are related to the practice itself. And so we'll be discussing a number of things here that are going on, things like the Geospatial Data Act that's out now in Congress in particular, and then some things that are going on in the states. You may have heard that there's an effort by the governor up in South Dakota to have sort of a cross-border agreement so that you don't really have to be licensed in South Dakota. You can come and work for 18 months and then try to get one. That's a little bit concerning to the profession and certainly to the people there. So that's one we're watching really closely as well. So in addition to the things that we do that are just routine, we do try to take particular attention to those types of things that are going on. And one of the things that's really important to us is to have our directors and our state execs and other members bring to our attention what's going on in their state, just like the South Dakota thing. Because we wouldn't really know about that if that didn't get brought to our attention. So that's a big part of this meeting. One of the things you build by being part of the NSPS leadership team is knowing people all over the country that you're really comfortable with. So that can be good from a business perspective. It can be good from a perspective of keeping up what's going on in the profession. And back in the days when I was still practicing, my being part of NSPS was a major contributor to the success of my business because I had some national clients and I knew great people everywhere. So what NSPS can do for our members is to create a platform where we have better interaction with each other and therefore can service our clients better.
Well, Curt, thank you very much for taking time out of your busy day and chatting with us.
My pleasure.